Okay. Okay, we seem to be good now. What I wanted to talk about, you know, no, let's get this going on the bones, coffee and stuff like that. I kind of enjoy my mornings. I don't know if I put enough creamer in here. I'm kind of just starting to drink coffee. So, give me a second. Okay. What I wanted to talk about is parenting. I've kind of been on both sides. You know, and I can understand both sides really. Um, I've argued with both sides. I've been around both sides. I've observed, I've heard. I both feel. Yeah, it's just kind of clear up the confusion. I want to make this kind of quick. If I can, I don't want to go too long with it. But sorry for that tire, by the way. It's a morning and I don't feel like getting all dressed up for this right here. I did but what do I want to start off with? Let's go to parenting, right? What I notice a lot is it millennials? I think millennials, nah, I can say the generation before that too. Uh, for some reason, when I look at parenting nowadays, I notice it's not really parenting no more. It's more like being a sibling, and then not. Okay, there's great parenting out there. I know there's you out there, right? But I've seen more bad parenting nowadays than good. Maybe I'm looking at too much TV, and not every family is supposed to be happy. But I rarely hear of a family that's happy nowadays. Not ever really. I wasn't talking to a lot of people out there about parenting. No, I've I've noticed there's a great amount of parents out there just treat their kids something serious, man. Like, maybe I'm not on that side. I have met a few people, great parents, right? Great, uh, do that thing, man. Uh, but I know a lot more parents that decide hating on their kids and just kind of being in their way is something great, or they going through their own problems and they decide, hey, I'm gonna use my child as some kind of punching bag right now because I need that, and I need to make somebody feel bad to, hmm, maybe not intentionally all the time. Sometimes I don't know that they doing it. A lot of parents don't know that they doing it, man. They just do it just cause, man. But they don't take their time to sit back and think that they did it. And if the kid tell them that they are, they take some kind of offense. I'm here to tell you, don't take offense, man. Sometimes you may think it's bad to let your kid or your child or whatever think they right over you. Nothing's wrong with that, man. I know you probably want to be right because you raised this kid, and when they're right, you should be proud. I feel like that's my personal opinion. I don't know about everybody. I feel like you should be proud. First subject. This is like light. I don't know if I'm gonna reach over to the more darker side of what it could be, but I've seen a lot of parents that think doing the bare minimum is something that the child should be grateful for. When first of all, you've been doing that their whole life because you're legally required to do it. Um, but when that child grows to be, questioning why, you may say, I ain't got it. Uh, a lot of you don't. A lot of you don't. Nothing's wrong with that. But some of you, some of you do. You don't decide to do with your kids. No, I'm not complaining about me, but I've known. I'm probably not gonna speak on too many of my own situations. Just. But man. Sometimes I go off the subject. This is kind of my first video. I gotta stay on track sometimes. I may forget what I'm talking about sometimes. So nah, I don't sleep. I don't sleep a lot. So sometimes, I be tired, man. Which is why I'm drinking coffee. But hold on, guys. What was we talking about just now, man? Okay. Anyway, all right. I've seen parents put their hands on kids. Uh, it's not cool, man. I want to say that now. Being overly judging their kid is bad. That's bad, man. You may think, man, that's the way to get them on head. Go ahead, get them out of here. No, them kids will hate you, nigga. Just like a bully, man. A bully do the same shit, bro. The bully, when they go to school, they gotta deal with that same shit, man. Don't do that shit. That shit ain't cool, man. I'm 18, by the way. If any of y'all wonder, I'm fresh out of childhood. Uh, teenage. I'm still a teenager. I'm barely an adult right now, so I think I could really speak on how a child would feel during this shit, right? And it's not even that they'll think of it as bullying. It's more like, damn, man, why you why you judging so hard? And you might think, damn, I'm doing this so they get better. Most of the time, that's not the case. You just wanna sound like you care and some shit, but you really just like doing it. I know that's how you feel because I be around kids and shit like that, and I do shit like that, and I have to teach myself not to do no shit like that because I was like, damn, my mama did this same shit. I'm doing this shit. I hated this shit. What they're doing, my mom and dad were doing some shit like that. I'm like, I hated that shit, man. Let me go ahead and be positive about some shit and tell them, hey, don't do that, man. Instead of judging. And when you judge, it starts to turn into a problem. So don't judge, man. Anytime you tell a kid to do some shit, man, don't try to be too hard on another. Tough love, that shit exists, but not in the way y'all niggas be thinking. Come on, especially the black community. I feel like I know I got white niggas out there, but most of the time when I hear about it, it's black people. I'm so sorry. I don't want to bring race to it. Most of the time, it's black people. I mean, sometimes we just don't even want to realize that a nigga got feelings. Trauma is a thing. Feelings is a thing. I don't know why black folks be acting like trauma ain't no thing. Like, nigga don't give a fuck, boy. I'm talking about, man, niggas be acting so crazy with it, but I be like, nah, you don't realize this shit hurt a nigga for real? You crash out one day, and all of a sudden, everything that motherfucker did with a thing. Like they just act like only that day mattered. Like the past didn't have to matter whenever that happened. I don't think that's good, man, to really just think about the now. Cause you think about, you know what I'm saying? I want people to really think about what they do sometimes. It's also, I see parents, they kids will be right. And they kids will say it right, and they get offended. And then they start arguing, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I don't care what it is, really. I mean, there are situations where sometimes you just gotta let it go. It's not that serious all the time. But, that parent don't take no time to think about it, right? They don't say sorry, nothing like that. Not even the stereotype of making food for them. Like, hey, you want some? No, someone do that. My dad used to do that. Actually, he did. Mom, not so much. She just went on about her day. She never said if she was wrong or not. She, just, I want to say one more thing about, on the kids' side to defend the kids. What was I about? You see that? Look, guys, I'm lying on your kids. Don't do that. Don't lie on your kids, man. I've seen it. I've experienced it. And I'll be like, yeah, lie, man. Lying on my name, man. Like no other, right? I'll be like, man, I can't even. And then the worst part about it, your family members are decide that shit true before even hearing your side. I'll be like, oh man. At a certain point, I was like, nah, I can't trust nobody, man. That's how I was really moving. I was like, bro, I can't talk to nobody. I can't trust nobody. Cause I was growing up, I really ain't had no friends back then. So my family members would lie on me, and I'd be like, bro, I can't trust nobody no more, man. Cause I didn't have no friends, so I didn't have no friends to even tell me, hey, you ain't even gotta worry about that. I mean, of course, I had like online friends and stuff, but I was really staying in the house cause my mom, like, that's too much. I'm dropping too much information, right? Yeah, man, come on, don't lie on your kids, man. That shit ain't cool. That shit is crazy, diabolical, and. You just building your kid up to really not, all right. on to the kid side, I want to make this different. On to the adult side, y'all kids, I think you should think about the situation your parents may be in sometimes. You know, your parents might be real annoying. You realize they just not listening. They not thinking about nothing, man. I mean, they is just unreasonable, right? And you got to think now they going through some shit. And you may want to talk to them about it. But I will say, a parent don't want to talk to no kid about their problems half the time, unless they're a little crazy, unless you really went through it, y'all really going through it. You done talk time and time again. And they'll finally come out to you after a few arguments, a good amount of arguments, from what I know. I found out while arguing with somebody else's parents, that parent is more likely to come out to me and tell me their problems than their actual kid. You know, and it's been times where I seen a parent doing bad, and I gotta go ahead and speak to him, man. Hey, you tripping, man? Hey, man, why are you doing that? You know, I gotta get on my therapist type talk, and they start breaking down. Man, I just been going through this and that, and it's getting hard. It's getting hard, man. But you don't treat your kid like that, bro. You can't use it. It's no outlet to let out your anger and frustration. Still. But still think about what your parent going through. They may be going through something. You don't know what they going through. It's always gonna be something they ain't telling you. It's always gonna be secrets, man. Not to defend the bad things they may be doing to you, but I think you should maybe talk to them. Maybe if you talk to them in a real respectful way, in a subtle way, in a more calm way, because the more calm you are, the more calm they will realize they have to be with you. You just come up to them, hey, I've been seeing, whatever. You got to talk to them in kind of a light voice, because if you talk too loud or something like that, they'll start to feel a little attacked, a little uncomfortable. Don't make them feel a little too small though. You still gotta talk to them right, so they don't think that you're thinking of them as a smaller being or whatever. Because parents don't like to be treated as lower than their kid. They don't want their kids to ever think they higher than them, which I still don't think is right. But it gets to that point, right? Especially if they're in a hard situation, they don't think right. Just like you don't think right and you crash out, your parents may not think right and crash out, man. Maybe even every day. They come home after work or some shit. Maybe if they don't even work and they just doing their thing. Something could have happened. Maybe something been weighing on their mind. Maybe they got some type of trauma that they not talking about. Then decide to go work out. Don't be an asshole and tell them, hey, you need to go hit the therapist, man. I mean, you really been crazy lately. Don't tell them no shit like that. You got to be there to try to comfort them. Maybe suggest it if you can in the most lightest way you can. Don't go crazy on them. Your parents got problems too. And a lot of them will try to work on it. A lot of them won't. The worst of them, right? I've had both. I won't say who. One of them tried to work on this, so, get it correct. Hey, if now, let me give him this. My father, he was like, hey, man, I've been doing this lately. Hey, forget too much. I'm doing this and that. Just tell me, man. That's how he would come at it. And I respected that. I didn't respect it at the time. I didn't even understand. But now that I'm older, I respected how he acted during almost every situation. He's a crazy man. He'll do some crazy stuff, but I feel like he may be just a little crazy for real. He just went through some things. He got some unsolved problems that need to go. He probably need to talk to his mom and really speak to her. His therapist or something like that. He just got some problems and some things happen. It really messed him up. I could just tell. He going through some things, man. And I somewhat don't blame him for the things he did. He's still doing things to this day. I don't blame him. He said sorry in his right state of mind, I feel like. He said sorry. He said, hey, I'm working on this. Tell me if I'm going too far with that. I do respect the man. So that's how I get to realize, it's not always on purpose, man. Sometimes this parents and stuff could be too much. But at the same time, you can't have 20 kids and expect that shit not to hit you. You can't be sleeping out there. Hey, you future parents, man. Don't be sleeping out there. Don't get 4 kids at 20, man. I'm telling you. My parents ain't do that. But I'm telling you. Don't get 4 kids at 20. That shit, you already expect the stress. 4 baby mamas with 4 kids, you out of there, man. I mean, hey, you might as well expect the child support, stress from the baby mama, unless you got the most holy baby mamas, which ain't true. Hey, ain't nobody, I'm gonna be real with you, man. You a man, ain't nobody sleeping with you. Ain't nobody right in the head sleeping with you if you got 3 kids already. Come on, man, you should have knew that. Come on, ma. Ain't nobody taking off the rep. Come on, ma. Be serious. You should have already knew. You got some trouble in front of you, pal. I'm telling you, it gets worse. You may think you got the money. What about in the future? What about when you lose that job? How about when the job don't work out no more? How about when you tired of taking care of them kids, man? I think the safest route for you future parents is to have one kid that most likely won't take too much of a toll on you. Some parents go crazy after having them kids and all types of stuff, man. Don't be having no kids like crazy out there. I know it may feel good, but you need to stop, man. It's not no cool thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be having no kids just cause, man. Especially if you're not financially right. That shit ain't cool. You know, you just setting yourself up to have a bad relationship with your kid and do wrong out there, man. I'm here to tell you, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was just for the future parents. We got off topic. What else do I want to say about the parents? Like, I know some stuff out there. I would say either way, a parent would be wrong for most of the stuff that they do. You know, at the same time, it's a kid. Some parents can't realize a kid is a kid. I've made so many decisions in my life, and my parents would take it as me being an adult. At a very young age, I was making my own decisions. And a lot of people wouldn't like to realize that, especially people in my family, you know? And I've been given, chances to select how my life went since I was young, which is a bad idea. Don't ever let your kid make their own decisions as they young. You know, people don't like strict parents, but realistically, when you strict, the kids come out better. Let's be real. You know, they hate a strict parent, but the strict parent really do get you right in some situations. You may hate that strict parent, but your life gonna be set a little bit. You still gonna have the core values. Still gonna have that. Don't let your kid ride out here, free balling like I did, just making their own decisions. That's what I was doing. I knew since I was young, they was just letting me make decisions. One parent would complain about me making my own decisions, and the other one let me do the exact same thing. After judging that parent, I don't know, man. I don't know what parents be thinking half the time. I think it's just the craziness from being a parent. That's why I say don't have too many kids, man. Stay out there. No, have too many kids. Just have one. You know what I'm saying? See how I feel. Maybe after a good 5 to 7 years, let's go ahead and think about it again. That's what I do personally. That's just my personal opinion. And I want to have it too early. I plan on having mine at 28. I don't want to be crazy when I have no kids. I don't want my kids to absolutely not think I'm a bad guy. But if it come down to that from me being strict or trying to get their life right, I won't be too strict, of course. I won't hit my children. I'm gonna be honest. I hate seeing children in pain, even though I know they get bad as hell when you don't whoop them, right? But at the same time, when you don't whoop them, they get more a sense of, I feel like when you don't whoop them, they kinda, it's not okay. A few times in the future, they need a punishment. Don't give them a punishment. Don't whoop them. Make sure they really care about the punishment. Some of y'all just be giving out punishments that nobody really care about. You're taking their phone, they don't care. They go play outside. Well, what does that do, man? I'm not saying keep them inside that whole week. No, that's kind of crazy. You wild. But you gotta find something they like. You gotta start dangling in front of their head. Hey, we was finna go somewhere, but hey, you can't go though. You gotta start sacrificing. Okay, my fault. You gotta figure these things out. If you can't punish your kid and you don't know what they don't like, you don't know your kid. So you gotta learn. You should know your kid already. First of all, you've been with them their whole life, right? You should know your kid. A lot of y'all probably gonna be like, damn, it's not even that easy, man. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You don't want to make it that easy. You want to do your own thing. Like, you don't know working was a thing. You go to work every day and you still don't decide to look at your kid, pay attention to your kid and do all that. No, you don't want it to be like that. You want it to be easy and that kid to be a robot. That kid is a human just like you. And I feel like some people got to realize that parent is a human just like you. teenager or kid that may be watching. We are all human. That is just why I'm gonna talk about this later on. But why I don't like racism, we are all human. Whites don't do more than blacks. Blacks don't do more than whites. I feel like a lot of people just the mindset of putting people into different groups. You put this kid into a different group, like that kid ain't supposed to have feelings. You think since this kid ain't been through too much, they shouldn't be stressed. That kid could be stressed about fucking anything. You know, let's say you raise your kid, he's totally fine, good grades. You know, maybe he got a girlfriend at school. He like 16, 17. You know, and you know, from what you see, he doing great. He's on a generational run, and he come up to you, you know, or you end up finding out they depressed. Your first reaction shouldn't be like, man, you got a good life, man. What you doing? Why you depressed? Like, see, that shit is the worst way to respond. That just make them not want to talk to you no more. That don't do shit. They just don't. Now you finna be a part of their problems now, cause you done said some fuck shit. Me personally, it hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it, and you know, actually kind of has in a way. You know, and it's kind of funny, but you know, we are all humans, bro. We all go through different things. We all act different. We are humans. We aren't in groups. We are all humans, which is something people can't understand for some reason. Like, I want to go back to racial debates. I hear racial debates, and I'm like, my nigga, we all do it. Like the racial stereotype for a white dude, maybe what a black dude is doing right now as we speak. This racial stereotype for this black dude or white dude may be doing right now. The fucking even some of them niggas be saying nigga. You know what I'm saying? We all human, man. You know, we all act, you know, somewhat the same, sometimes some of the way different. Like that kid may be feeling the exact same way you feeling about work, about school, and you decide to, you know, I just wanted to make that discussion real quick. This is the first topic. You know, I tried playing games. My laptop was lagging. It was a whole big thing. You know, it was real laggy. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. I probably got to order an HDMI cord so I can really get to it. But man, I just wanted to talk about that. That was weighing on my chest, you know, and I just wanted to let you guys know that we are all human. We are all the same. There's no reason to judge the next man or the next kid, especially not no kid. You got to realize a kid is a kid. You got to I don't give a how old they are. They a teenager, they're still a fucking kid. I'm a teenager, and I feel more older than what I am. I feel like I am in a position to where I could treat a teenager like a kid, because they're a kid. Still, they are a kid. They're a teenager. You know what I'm saying? That's like you'll call a 13-year-old a kid. That nigga's a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm crossing over to adulthood still. I'm in the middle of it. I'm 18. I'm crossing the middle of it. And you know, I've just experienced so many adults acting like these kids are adults, man. Treating these kids like they your age, my nigga. Sometimes I be like, damn, these parents be looking like pedophiles the way they be treating kids the same way. Wait, hold up. Let me go ahead and blur that out. Whatever. These parents be looking like PDF files. Treating these kids like adults. I'd be like, man, you real life think that kid is grown, don't you? I don't care if that kid told you it was grown. Man, if you don't get, man, come on, man. Be real with yourself. You want to treat that kid like a adult, man, you gotta chill, man. I've seen it happen so much, even with myself. I be thinking, man, if they think I'm an adult, how? You know, you gotta wonder sometimes. you gotta sometime wonder if they talk to you like this, how they talking to other kids? They feel comfortable talking to you like that? What they telling these other kids out here, man? You gotta wonder sometimes. I'm not saying some of y'all pedophiles. I'm honest, how y'all act. That's how y'all act sometimes, man. I'll be honest. Right? I don't mean to diss nobody, but I want you to realize that kids you may be beefing with, for whatever weird reason, shouldn't be beefing with no kid. That kid's a human with a developing brain. You know? Get that kid some leeway. Let the kid play on the game. Let the kid do his thing, because I'm telling you, if you don't let that kid play on that game right now, you're going to do it in the future. And you don't want to do it in the future. Like me, I can't stop playing the game about it because I was too poor to have my own shit. You know, my father would pay for all my things, but my mom wasn't really a payer. She was more of a, you know, if it was food related, that's all I get. But with clothes and stuff like that, it would most likely be my father. So I have to wait on my dad to get me something. If we would even talk, you know, we didn't talk too much. So, you know, I had to wait on that type of stuff. So I didn't have a lot that to do, even though people would say I'm spoiled. No, I wasn't spoiled, right? My dad would be the one that would get it for me, but I would make do with what I had. But, you know, speaking of, I shouldn't even heard stuff like that when I was a kid. Don't tell no kid they spoiled. That shit fucked up. Now that I think about it. I've never thought about it. I just thought about that. Don't tell no kid they spoiled. That shit fucked up, man. That's some weird shit, man. I don't know. Some of y'all parents be killing me, man. What? But yeah, man. Hey, that should have been the end of this video minutes ago. Look, we are all human. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck up that relationship with your kid, cause you decided you don't like that little motherfucker, cause some small shit he did. Man, I'll be like, you know what? Let's keep going real quick. I do want to tell a story. It's not even a story, right? But I remember this kid told on me for something, and I was like, man, this little motherfucker told on me. And I'm like 15, 16. I'm like, man, that's a fucking kid. And I thought about it from then on. I was like, hold up, huh? I'm getting mad at a fucking kid. What do I look like getting mad at a fucking kid? Cause still at this moment, I'm thinking like I'm grown, cause I've been making decisions since I was young. You know, if I wanted to even be in school, I was making decisions on that and stuff like that. So I was, you know, I'm building my own mindset, cause you know my dad would tell me a lot of stuff, but I feel like to a lot of situations, you know, I had to find out myself sometimes. Let myself find out. So I started to think, I got my own situation down pat, you know. I'd be wrong, of course, because I'm a kid. I'm a kid, man. People let me make my own decisions and shit. You know, I'm thinking I'm raw, I'm him. I'm making my own decisions, shit going right. But it's not gonna go right. First of all, I'm not getting taught by nobody that I'm not supposed to do some bullshit. So I do that bullshit, I get in trouble for that bullshit, and now I gotta learn again. I gotta find a different way, because I wasn't getting no advice. Nobody was telling me I wasn't supposed to be doing this, but I was getting judged all the time. So I was like, shit, I gotta get this right and do it. But how do you do that? How do you blame a kid for some shit? I think a kid did wrong and you a whole ass adult and you've been through this shit already. You got 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 years on top of a kid, and you think it's right to blame him. Grown, by the way, you're grown. You're a parent, and if you're not a parent yet, listen to this. I want you to install this in yourself. You shouldn't treat no kid like no adult. And I still want to install people maybe be like, man, who are you to tell me? First of all, I'm fresh out of being a kid. I'm barely an adult, really, but I'm crossing over to the adulthood. I do expect to have my own place very soon. I don't have my own place right now. You know, this is not mine, but I do plan to have my own things. You know, but I feel like people are very self-centered. And a lot of people feel like if it don't have nothing to do with them, then it don't matter, right? Especially with their kids. And that's something you should wipe clean. That's disgusting for me. Just because it don't benefit you, don't mean you treat that kid like shit. I should end this, man. I'm gonna end it. It was great talking to y'all. Somebody called me. It was great talking to y'all. Look, not even. I bought my own phone and shit like that. I'm chilling in life, essentially. But yeah, I gotta go, y'all. That was a great talk.